Hey y'all, it's your girl jadajay. Now, y'all know I've been talking about reviewing this show for a while, so here we go. Now, y'all gotta know I'm still flustered from the haves and have-nots, which is an hour before everybody. And this show, this was a lot tonight, but this is my first review, so maybe that's why. All right, y'all. So let's get into it. I'm telling you, I had to stop and pray during a few of these scenes. Everybody, it was crazy. Okay. So we open with Alex's mom. So now she's coming up to the baby. She's like, I want to see the baby. So Alex is trying to cover it up. But we got Brad in the cut, his hateful self. At the moment, we love Brad, but this was, oh my gosh. He's like, oh, come on, darling. Let her see the baby. Come on, you know? So Alex is like, no, mom, I don't, let me see that baby. So Brad is keep trying to lift the blanket, and Alex is putting it down like, nah, dude, like, come on now. And then Brad's just like, no, come on, darling. So then she eventually just, goes in and then pulls back like, okay. So now the mama knows. The mama knows, everybody. Okay, so Brad is kind of smirking while Brad is then still trying to be sneaky, because then he goes, Rusty, come on, don't you want to see the baby too? I was like, oh my gosh, dude. Okay, so Rusty, of course, is ignorant. So thank God, we thank God and Tyler for this, because he didn't want to get up. He was acting like he didn't even hear what she was saying. So he's just like, not saying anything. He's drinking a beer and watching the game. And she's trying to tell him to, she's like, no, Rusty's watching the game. That's what the mama's saying. And he's like, come on. Brad's like, no, you didn't drive all this way, Rusty, not to see the baby, right? And she's like, he's just watching the game. That's it. And then she's like, let me see that baby. Because, go try and take it upstairs. So Alex is standing kind of far back. He's like, no. I think Rusty needs to see the baby first. She's like, he's watching the game. That's all he cares about. So then Alex is not letting go of the carriage. So she's got one side of it. She's got the other. So they're not going up the stairs. Okay, they get in the room. And Alex's mom, this scene had me pissed off. I'm not even going. Okay. So they get up there to the room. And she asked Alex, she goes, what the heck is going on? Like, what is this? You feel me? And of course, they're that racist hillbilly. And you know what? I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm gonna say that when I get to it. So she's going, what's going on? Alex is mute. So Brad is answering everything. I'll tell you. Do you remember that guy from next door, the African American man? She goes, no, fakery. She knew who that was. And he goes, oh yeah, you do, because I think you guys threw him out one time. She goes, okay, what about him? She goes, well, there's a sign on his front lawn that says Rando and Alex's baby. It's a boy. No, he said it's a boy, everybody. He said it's a boy. So she's now asking Alex, is this true? Did you have a baby with the colored man next? That annoyed me. Did you have an affair with the colored man next door? Did you have a baby with him? Alex is not answering, so Brad is answering. He's like, yes, she did. She's like, shut up, boy. I'm talking to my daughter. So Brad goes, excuse me? And then so she goes back to Alex. Alex, did you have an affair with the colored man next door? So then she goes, did he rape you? Now everybody, my blood pressure was going up, because I can't stand Randall, okay? And I say that proudly. I say it proudly. Of course, we need all the characters for different reasons, but I'm over it. I'm still going to be mad about it and whatever. All right, love the show. And so, of course, where was I? I lost my train of thought, everybody. Let me find it. The color book. Okay, yeah. Did he rape you? So she's still standing there silent. Like, no. Her mama, in her mind, has already made up her mind. No. He raped you. It's done and over with. He raped you. He raped you, didn't he? So then she finally goes, no, mama, he didn't. So, and before this, I want to say, when she asked her, did you have an affair with the colored man? She asked her like 3 times, and by like the 3rd, 4th time, Alex was like, yes, ma'am, I was over that too. She don't, So she goes, no, mama, he didn't, and this, that. And then she goes, I knew it was a bad idea for you to move next to these people. You know how much your father hates them? He told you about them and whatever. And then she goes, if he finds out about this baby, he gonna kill us all. And, she goes, when he was a young boy, he's seen his father murdered by a colored man on a tractor who didn't know the difference between forward and reverse, so he ran him over because he couldn't read. And she said it so freaking just hateful witch, as if we had that option. You feel me? There would be slaves out sneaking to do it, but if they get caught, 50 lashes to the back or even more. So F her for that as well. I'm over it. So this is when she comes out with it, and she goes, "Mama, there's only one man who ever raped me, and it was not an African American." So I'm not shocked about this, because remember let's go back when they did the flashback episode for season 2. When they did that episode, and he just gave me that vibe, like he used to touch her, and how she acted too, because first of all, he was hateful. But with that one scene, I don't know if you guys remember, because I even had to go back and I have a DVR, so I go back and watch. So he was like, "Aren't you gonna come and give your daddy a hug?" And she was like, "Yeah, Dad." Like, she was like scared, and it was fake too, because he ain't really even hug her. Like, it was just giving me that vibe, like he was just that. So, and I already knew before she said it, because she goes, "There's only one man who raped me, and it wasn't African American." I was like, I bet you it was her freaking father. And they never really came out and said it till the end of the episode, but I already knew. And she was like, "From the time that I was 6 years old to the time I went to college, and you knew, and you did nothing." So her mama is sick first, and we know this already, so is the daddy. But her mama gonna say something, "You think you're special? You think you're better than me?" Like, as if trying to say, just because my husband wanted you, you can't hold a candle to me. Like, do you think she went? I can't now, dude. I was actually feeling bad for Alex in this scene, everybody. And Marcy, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to get ahead. But this is when the mama tries to grab the baby, talking about, "I'm taking the baby back to the hospital. We gonna leave it there, and then we gonna tell your daddy the baby was sick, and we just gonna leave it." And Alex is like, "No, it's not gonna happen." So when the mama keep trying to reach, Brad is now ultimately feeling bad. Right after he heard she got raped, and even before that, he was kind of second guessing, like, was this the right thing? But especially when she was trying to grab the baby, like, "I'm taking it to the hospital," he was like, "Okay, that's enough." She slapped him, and he said, "Did that make you feel better?" And whatever, and that was pretty much the end of that. They leave. She goes, "I'm gonna try and get Rusty to go home." So then they're up. So Brad goes downstairs too. So we now have Alex. She's taking the baby, and she's running out. Everybody, she's taking the baby. She's running out. And I want to point out, it's not really a huge deal, but when she comes out, because there's a back door upstairs, and she walked out in the hallway, comes outside, and her daddy's outside smoking a cigarette. So she's being real, she trying to be sly. She made it. I can't. So then the mama comes out of the front door and is trying to talk. This was a long scene, everybody. I want to make sure I don't leave out any important stuff. So the mama comes out through the front door, and she's talking to her racist ASS, fake ASS husband, Rusty. What kind of name is? I'm over it. I'm over it, dude. So yeah, she comes out, and she's trying to convince him to come back inside. So I guess she'll have more time to sort of smooth him over, like, "Come on, let's go home." And we're gonna get back to that. Okay, so then we switch to Pete. Oh my gosh. When I tell you, I was like, it was literally, my heart sunk. And then this is a scene where I had to stop and pray, everybody. Anyway. Okay, so we switched to Pete. And he's on the ground. He's bleeding out. Like, bleeding out. So he's trying to get dispatch. He's trying to get somebody on the radio, and it's not working. It's not working because we know Eddie effed up the radio. I can't, dude. I can't. Anyway, so he's trying. It's not working. Gets the. He's barely even can move. Get the phone out of his pocket. 911 calls. Gets the dispatch. He gets Claudia, and he goes, "Officer Davis, officer down. She goes, "Pete, is that you?" Like, that's exactly how she did it. And he couldn't even, she was like, he goes, yeah. And then she was like, "Esperanza, you got to get over here." I guess it was like her first time actually getting, that's how it seemed. That was really good acting. So Esperanza comes over, and she's like, "Hello," because she goes, "Pete, he's saying he's been shot." She takes the lead. She goes, "Is anyone there?" She goes, "Claudia, there's nobody here." She goes, No. Pete said that he was shot." So Esperanza runs out of the dispatch room, everybody, and gets Steven. Steven is like, "What?" Like, because she tells him Pete called. She said Pete called and said he was shot. So he's now coming in there, and he's like, "Come on, call him back. So he's on the radio trying to get him. We got fake ASS Eddie sitting there. He calls Ben, and he goes, "Look, he called dispatch on his phone. Go over there and take the phone." That's what I could have done. Are you serious? I'm sorry, Jehovah. I'm sorry. Okay. And everybody, I just got a little upset, just a little bit. Just a tad. So he tells Ben to go over there and get the phone. So so then they start calling Ben because Steve is on the radio. Officer Davis, he's not coming back. So he goes, Officer Bryant, which I guess is Ben's last name. He's not coming back either. So Ben is like, dude, they're calling. He's on the phone with Eddie. He's like, they're calling me. What am I supposed to do? So fake ASS Eddie is like, I know, you don't think I can hear him or whatever. He's like, just don't answer, and make sure you don't even respond to it until he takes his very last breath talking about Pete. He goes, just tell them you were too busy running around for help to answer, which is not believable. So I hope he wouldn't say that. So, but this is when Ben goes over there because he's telling Ben to go get the phone, but that's not what he did. He goes over there and he's like faking with him. Like at first he goes, they're coming, man, they coming. Don't worry about it. They on their way. Pete ain't dumb, even in a dying moment. He's like, nah, dude, they not coming. I know you and Eddie set this up. Don't you know he gonna kill you too? Come on now. So Ben trying to act like, man, I don't know what you're talking about. You got it all wrong. Pete's going, I saw the tape. You don't gotta lie no more. I saw it. I saw him blow your head. And he's trying to like, nah, man, you don't know what you're talking about. He's like, come on, Pete, please. He was like, you gonna let me die out here, man? You gonna let me die? Oh my gosh. That was... Ben got on the radio. He ain't getting no brownie points with me, y'all. But this was like where my heart came back up a little bit. Because he got on the radio. He was like this. I said, if he puts the radio down, I'm over it. He goes, officer down, more than the fifth. I said, I had to pause it, everybody. Because at this point, I'm praying. And I was just like, thank God, I can't. Okay, so then we switched to Natalie and Lucian. And this is another scene that I was very upset because I love Natalie and I love Natalie and Lucian. And I love Lucian. That's my brother. I call him my brother. And I heard wedding bells for this couple and I can't hear them anymore because of Natalie. Oh my gosh. We appreciate the Miss Independent Woman. We love that. That's one of the things we love about Natalie. But come on, Natalie. Are you serious? So she's giving him... He comes in and he goes, so Eddie tased you, huh? She goes, yep. He goes, in front of the kids? She goes, yeah. And he's like, he calls him a son of a, that word. And so she's like, what did you expect? Like, you shocked now? So then she hands him a number. And this is almost where Natalie annoys me because, and I'm going to say this before I move on. I get it. Like, you don't want, first of all, the job is already dangerous. Okay? Look, that's another topic because I have mixed feelings actually about just what I just said because about what's going on and I'm over it. And so, okay, then you're out there with Eddie, so it's twice as hard. But that's what Lucian signed up for, not to be out there with Eddie. He signed up to be a police officer. So you need to go back to, because we had to again go back. She tried to get him to quit the job before. I'm done. Come on, Natalie. You know Lucian is not that type of dude. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so moving on. She hands him the number because we know he used to work in Virginia as an officer. They said that in I think the first episode of when the show ever even materialized. And she goes, they said they would love to have you back in the force in Virginia. He was like, so you called my old boss? You called them? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, do you not want me here? She's like, it's not that. She's like, I want you here, but you're out there with Eddie and now he's tainting you kind of thing. And he's like, Natalie, I'm not doing none of that stuff. Like, what are you talking about? Ultimately, I think Lucian's point is to maybe change Eddie. Maybe Lucian is what Eddie used to be before he became some BS. I'm guessing it's PTSD, everybody. That's the only thing I can get out of that. Anyway, so back to them. He's like, she asks him, she goes, then please tell me where you got this money from. Because then he reveals, for this, I could have just stayed in my old apartment. And she's like, wait a minute, you moved out? He's like, yeah. He goes, and I didn't have to do that. She goes, I know you didn't. And so now at this point, it's more of just like, Lucian, tell me where you got the money from, and everything is all to the good. So he's just like, nah, dude. I can't. He's like, just trust me. That's what he kept saying, just trust me. And even before he said that, he was like, do you love me? She goes, Lucian, come on. He's like, no. Do you really love me? She's like, I do. And because that was another one of his things. He was like, you never want to say you love me unless it's a time of real crisis. Like, you can't just tell me you love me and you want to be with me and this, that. And she's like, pretty much don't come with that, Lucian. I'm over it. And she's like, can you just trust me? And she's like, no. And he goes, I know, because you don't trust men, right? And she was like, no. Just one man. And I said, F you for that, Natalie, because first of all, we all know that's not true. She just kind of said that as a burn moment. Natalie don't trust men. I'm over it. Which I get it, because Natalie seems like that person who she's been through heck and back, and we get that. But come on, Natalie. This is Lucian we're talking about. So she's just like, you know what? And then she goes, oh, surprise, surprise. Well, I found out some more information when I talked to your boss. He says that you left that force 4 years ago. So what you been doing for 4 years, Lucian? He goes, just trust me. Which I was kind of over that, though. Like, now I want to know what's going on with Lucian. Okay, I can't. So then she proceeds to say, okay, unless you could tell me about it, because he said, Natalie, just trust me, which I can't tell you nothing. She's just like, okay, until you could tell me something, I'm done. So she goes, I never want to see you again, which is some BS to me. He got kids with you. A kid. He got Frank. So he's like, really, Natalie? Like, this is what you want to do? So she's like, yeah, I mean, she's like, I'm done. She was like that, she called Eddie, I think, a witch or something like that. And then she goes, he come up in here and tase me? She goes, nah, dude, I'm done. Which I get it. That's why I'm not so mad at it. But the fact that you think Lucian could have played any part in that by even being out there doing drugs or whatever the F, I can't, Natalie. So he's like, so she's like, yeah. So he's like, okay. Okay, so he leaves. All right. We don't know where that's going, y'all. We know it's going to come back because this is Lucian and Natalie, and we can't. So then we switch back to the police station. And the officers get the word that Pete is down. Like, now we got to get out there because of the Ben place. So they running out. As soon as Lucian is coming in, everybody's leaving. So he's like, who's down? They're all ignoring him. And that really annoyed me too. And then the one officer, I think it was Andrew, the guy that's kind of coming in. He goes, Pete's down. Lucian immediately goes, dang it. And he's running out. He's like, come on, Eddie, let's go. And what he said, he was like, don't you dare say a word, because he's pissed that Lucian shot him when you know they're going to tase his girl. I'm done, dude. I can't. And I'm tweeting Tyler about it. I'm tweeting. Give me my water. I'm parched. That's my assistant, everybody. Listen. I can't. I don't even want to get into it. Because he wasn't in this episode so much, so I'm chill. I swear to goodness, everybody. Like I said, all the characters on this show, we can appreciate one way or another. But the less I have to see... And you know what? I'm going to keep it real, though. Because I've told you guys this before, but this is my first actual review. So I will say I'm an Eddie and Esperanza fan as a couple. You feel me? I can't stand Eddie. Because, and I level with him just because he does exhibit the symptoms of PTSD. I've had to do a research paper on PTSD, so I know what it looks like. So Tyler's doing a good job enacting that, if that's what he's doing. Don't come with something else, Tyler. Don't. There could still be room for Eddie to change, but right now, I'm over it. So, anyway, he's like, don't you dare talk to me. And Lucian's like, get your ASS up now and let's go. Are you feeling me? So then Eddie is kind of just sitting there, and he about to get up anyway, but no, he wasn't. He was gonna sit there. But Esperanza goes, Eddie, you're about to get left. And he said, or something like that. And then she was like, go get your ASS and do your job. And he actually got up. See, that's what I'm talking about with them. It's that vibe. Even though she don't really want it, they got it because he listened. And then he was like, you seen my sucker? Oh my gosh, he's giving me sociopath too, you guys. I can't. And then she goes, take your dang sucker, and like she hawked it at him. You feel me? Which this was kind of like a scene. Okay, I'm cool. So then he's like, well, that won't work. And he goes to pick the sucker up because when she threw it, it like ricocheted. And she's like, take your, and he's like, I'm going to bring you one later. Which we know what the F he was talking about. And I'm over Tyler. Love you, Tyler. You're my uncle. Play uncle. I'm over that too. Come on. Gosh. So she was like, no, you ain't going to bring me nothing. So he leaves. So then we switch to Marcy. And she's at Randall's house. She's coming in. She looks distraught. Still, she comes to sit down. She's over it. Miss Louise comes in, and she's trying to put a smile on for her pretty much. And she goes, I found an apartment, and I won't need your money to do it, but thank you and everything like that. And Miss Louise is like, are you sure? She's like, how are you gonna afford this without my money? And she goes, we found it in our price range, and I have a roommate. She goes, oh really, who? So that at first Marcy's hesitant, like, nah, I don't really want to tell you. So she's kind of just like, doesn't matter, And she goes, who is it? She goes, It's Brad, you know, the guy next door, and she's telling her, I don't think that that's a good idea. And she's telling him, like, we don't want each other. It's just we want to get over them. And she said something, everybody. I want to get it here. It's in my notes. Miss Louise says it's easy to get over someone when you could slip under someone else in the next move. I said, you smooth, Miss Louise. You smooth. I like her now, y'all. She was getting on my nerve. And even tonight, a little bit, I still love her. She was coming in with trying to almost like I can't. Let me get. I want to get ahead of myself. Okay, so then Marcy gets a phone call. And lo and behold, it's from a baby store, everybody. Which, if you guys knew, they released a sneak peek earlier. Not really, but we wouldn't have known that. But so they telling her that her credit card had been charged. So she looking in her bag like, I didn't make it. I'm at my house right now, so how is it that $3,800? And they said that later. But she looks in the bag and she goes, and I already knew what it was. I already knew. I was about to be some credit card stuff. So she goes, yep, that's my husband. She goes, okay, how much? And she goes, what's this on? So I guess they tell her, and then she goes, yep, you can put it through. Because they called her because so much was spent. It was $3,800, everybody. $3,800, everybody. And he did it on purpose. You reached into her bag to get, I can't, dude. I can't. Him and Eddie are killing me. They're killing me. Like I said, you gotta love all the characters and appreciate them, but... Okay, so then she hangs up the phone. So she tells Miss Louise, she goes, see, I told you. Because that's what Miss Louise was trying to say. She kept trying to say, my son, he's sorry. He's just out of it right now. Marcy's like, no, he's not. So right after this phone call, she goes, he's not sorry. And Miss Louise goes, what are you talking about? And she's like, that was the baby store. They told me Randall charged $3,800 to my credit card buying baby toys and clothes and bull crap. So then, you know, Marcy's just like, you know what, I'm done. Like, and pretty much like, I'm leaving. She was going upstairs to pack. We seen that later. And, you know, Miss Louise is just like, come on, I'll talk to him. She's like, don't even bother. I'm done. And it really sounded like she's done. It really did. So I'm interested to see where that's going. Because she's leaving the house now. Okay, so then we switch to Kelly's job. Now, she is calling Ramsey to ask him, has he figured out, like, a number on the house? And it's because, she's asking, like, he's like, you know, no, yeah, he's like, I have a number, but I don't really know how much it's worth. So, he goes, but why do you want to know? She goes, because I think I have some friends that might want to buy the house. And he's like, oh, okay, but that realtor you gave me, she hasn't called me back. And she's like, yeah, I know, I have some other ones, and I'll give them a call for you. He's like, okay, great, thanks. And she's like, all right, I'll talk to you. So they hang up. So then she calls Natalie, and I knew that's who she was talking about. And this was so sad because that was such an exciting thing. Like, when Natalie and Lucia were talking about getting, I wish they were married first. But when they were talking about getting a house together, I was just like, yes, like, come on, this is Natalie and Lucian. They're that other couple for me. It's Eddie and Esperanza, and it's Natalie and Lucian. I know y'all are shocked because you're like, Eddie and Esperanza. I know. I can't. I can't. When I see chemistry with people, I'm like, that they should be together. If he don't get stuff together, then I vote no. We don't got much time, everybody. We don't got, let's see. Okay, so she's like, you know, I have good news. I found a house that you might be able to purchase. And Natalie's just like down and out because she's like, she knows now that's not going to happen. So she tells Kelly, she goes, I can't afford it. She goes, what are you talking about? You've been approved and everything. She goes, well, it looks like me and Lucian aren't going to be, you know, getting an apartment together anymore. That saddens me. Of course, we knew that's what was going to happen at this point. But so Kelly's just like, okay, girl, tell me what happened. You know, what's going on? And I didn't really like that Natalie didn't want, like, as if this is not, like, one of her closest friends. Like, I'm not saying you needed to pour your heart out, because we know Natalie's not a crying person. I think that might have been why because she did start crying. But I would at least been like, okay, girl, come over. We about to talk. Like, you know, she was just kind of trying to act like, okay, you a stranger, stay out my business. I didn't know if I really appreciated that. I get it, because I could be that way. Like, I don't really want to talk about it right now. And she was saying that, but how Natalie is. And then she's even said, like, I'm coming over. And she was like, no, you're not. I got to step out, which we don't even know that if that was true or not. So anyway, she's like, okay, girl, call me when you get home because I'm coming over. So she's like, okay, they hang up the phone, and Natalie breaks out into tears. And I'm just like, Natalie. She's like, just listen to Lucian. Like, he's that dude. Like, come on now, Lucian. The only thing with Lucian is just tell her where you got the money from. Just tell her. Because at this point, it's just, she not going to be able to deal with it if she don't know where you got the money. So it's like, come on, Lucian. He shouldn't, I agree she should, I think she should be like less, you and Eddie have been out here, and more just like, I'm concerned, like you weren't doing anything illegal when you were back in Virginia, right? Her thing right now is kind of like, what are you out there doing with Eddie? He's not doing Ed. If anything, he's trying to save Eddie's freaking life. All right, so come on now, Natalie. I can't with her. I can't. Oh my gosh. So then we switch back to Marcy. Now Marcy and Brad are talking on the phone. She called Brad, and you know she's telling him we got the apartment and everything like that. It's fully furnished, so we can move in immediately. And he's like, great. And he's like, you know, then he switches to, you remember how you were telling me that you were just so over being angry and mad and you were just done? He goes, how did you get to that point? She goes, I was just tired. Like, I'm done. You feel me? So then he goes, I think I might have took it too far. She goes, what did you do? He then tells her, like, I brought her parents here. So even freaking Marcy knows, oh, the redneck racist. And he goes, yeah, and I think I took it too far. He goes, I found out that her father was raping her. And even Marcy had like a feeling of compassion for her. And you could tell she kind of hated it. Like, dang it, I feel sorry for her in this moment. Because he goes, from when she was 6 years old. And she was like, wow, like that's crazy. Because it really, oh my. And if I was Brad, I would have had to go downstairs and just do something. Not even defending her, but just because you sicko. You sicko. You feel me? You supposed to bring a child into the world to nurture it and love it. You don't rape it. You don't do that. You feel what I'm saying? And this mother effer's a racist too. So you had, oh my gosh, I can't do it. But you want to be so hateful toward African Americans because they're so evil. We're so evil, right? But your fake ass was raping your daughter from all the way from when she was 6 years old to when she went off to college. I'm done, dude. I can't. Tyler laid that out very well because I'm very upset. Which is so nice job. So that means Tyler played it off very well. So they're on the phone. She just goes, you know, I'm ready to be done. And he goes, but why do I still want to go downstairs and rip that man's head off and defend her after what she's done to me? And she goes, because you still love her. And he goes, no, I don't. I'm done with that. She goes, it don't go away that easily. I don't know why people keep it, because even if we switch back to Esperanza again, and this was season 2, Nat, when he got shot, she was really worried. Like, I want him to be okay. We had some great times together and whatever. And Natalie, and as a matter, she probably hated to say it because she don't like Eddie for her, and she just don't like him, which I get, of course. And Kelly are telling her, like, girl, you still love him. And she's like, no, I don't. Like, come on now. But anyway, so Brad's like, no, I'm done with that. She's like, no, you're not. She goes, I still love Randall. Even though I want to run him over with my car sometime, I still love him. And she goes, I'm working through that. And, you know, he's just like, it's really difficult. So she's like, all right, I'm going to get the keys and we can meet up at the apartment or whatever. So he goes, okay. They hang up. So now he exits the house because he's going to look for Alex. So he's kind of on a rampage. He goes to the backyard. She's not back there. He goes to the front, even tries to go to Kelly's house. She ain't over there. And he runs into Ramsey and he tells him, like, he's not home. And he goes, everything okay? So Brad just ignores him and is kind of walking away. Then he even goes to Marcy's house. He knocks on the door. And he's like, is Alex here? And Miss Louise comes to the door. And she goes, no, he's not. No, she's not. And then he goes to their backyard and looks in the shed. And Miss Louise goes around the back and she's like, get off this property. Like, you need to go now. And he's like, I'm looking for my wife. And she's like, get off this property. So he leaves. When he's coming out the front, he sees that freaking taunting ASS sign. So he kicks it down and like stomps it. He takes it and he throws it in. Then he goes back to his house, throws it in the backyard, leaves there, and he goes upstairs. But I just kind of, should I finish with them? Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So when he goes upstairs, no, wait a minute. Okay, when he leaves to go no, wait. I think, okay, when he first leaves the house, we switch back to the house. And we get Virginia on the couch with her husband, Rusty. And she's trying to tell him, she goes, I think we should go home. And, you know, and he goes, why? She goes, I'm tired, whatever. And he's just like, didn't we come here to see that? No, first he goes, I'm too tired to go back home. Drive back home tonight. And he goes, anyway, didn't we come to see the baby? He's like, so where is it? Where's the baby? So she goes, she's asleep right now. We're not gonna do it right now. So she's stalling him. So she goes, do you want another beer? And so comes back in with the beer, puts it down on the table. Then she goes upstairs. Then we switch back to Brad going all around and whatever. So then we get back to the house when he's coming in. He's now through the sign in his backyard and he's going upstairs. So when he goes upstairs, she's up there in the freaking corner. I'm like, what the? Like, it was anybody else creeped by that? Like, she was trying to be incognito. It's like, what is she doing in the corner? Hateful person. I can't. All right. So they're now upstairs. Okay, and Brad and her kind of start getting into it because she trying to be slick at the mouth and I'm over it. So she trying to say, well, he ain't trying to leave. So he goes, well, you need to get him up out of here because my kid's going to be home in an hour and he ain't going to be around him. We ain't going to be able to do it. You feel me? So she goes, you invited us here, so whatever. He's like, okay, fine. My kids will be home in an hour. Y'all ain't going to be here. Y'all need to take y'all ancestors home now. You feel me? On some real, though. So she's like, look, she was like, you drug, what'd she say? Was it innocent people? I thought I wrote it down, but I don't think this is what she said, everybody. Oh, I'm annoyed. No, she said, you drug us good people into this. He should have popped it right there. You feel me? Anyway, no, he shouldn't have. Maybe we could have let, alright, anyway. So he goes, good people? Are you serious? He goes, you knew that your husband was raping her, your daughter, and you did nothing. Oh, this is what she said, everybody, and I would have decked her again. She said, you're not from where we from. Oh, okay, ma'am. So it's okay in some places for a father to rape his child? It's okay for people to rape, period? Can I say that on camera? Gosh dang it, the lawyers are telling me I can't say that. Are you sure? Did you check? There's no loopholes or anything? Oh, okay. Okay. They couldn't find a loophole, everybody. Look, here's the thing. They must die. I didn't say it on camera. My face was not on the camera. You can't say. I'm over it. I found a loophole myself. I wasn't on. You didn't see my face. I looked. Moving on. So she comes back with it again. And she's like, look, I'm going to just tell him that she's asleep. And we're going to leave in the morning or something like this. And he's like, my kids are going to be home. You're not spending the night in this house. She goes, you invited us here. We're spending the night. And I hated how she said it. I'm tweeting Tyler about that too. I'm tweeting him. I'm about to tweet him, call him. And I know the Tyler Perry Studios mailing address, everybody. I'm mailing him a letter. Oh, yeah. And not in the fan mail. No. I'm going to go to the officials. Okay. Tyler's going to get my stuff in hand. In hand. You feel me? Moving on. So she's like, yes, we are. He goes, what did he say? You want to bet or something like this? And she gonna give him a stank look and then go on down the stairs. We're over you, dude. We're over you. So then we switch back to Marcy's house and we get Randall. Now, Randall is just pulling home. He gets out of the car. He sees the sign is gone. Of course, this mother effer got another sign in the trunk. He gonna pull the sign out, and he was like, and hammering the sign in as if everything is all right. He goes, there we go, Oh my gosh, Tyler's killing us. This season is gonna be an emotional roller coaster for me. As you get me a volume, as usual, everybody. I'm not shocked about it at all. I'm not shocked. So anyway, he goes back to his car. In the trunk, puts the hammer back, pulls out like at least a dozen bags of clothes, toys, and whatever for the baby. And he's going in the house now. His mama is at the door, Miss Louise, or Cotton Ball Kenobi, as the Jedi calls her. I ain't gonna say it, y'all. But so he goes, wait a minute, what's this about? You haven't waited at the door for me since I was 16 years old. What's this? Dude, she just found out you had a baby with the neighbor next door, and you're asking, what's this about? Then gonna say aren't you happy to be a grandmother? I said I'm tweeting Tyler about this. I'm tweeting him because what is this? What is this, Tyler? We got Randall losing it. Eddie has already lost it. Natalie won't hear Lucian out. Where is Joey? Fawn is gonna be trying to defend Joey Terrifier the next week. I can't. I don't even want to talk about it too much, but I probably am. So then he's talking about Mama. He was like, I don't want to deal with this right now. I'm fine. All I want to do is take the tags off these toys and clothes, go next door and drop these gifts off. She's like, what are you talking about? If you go over there, that woman's husband will kill you. He goes, well, he works during the day. She goes, you're not going over there. And he's like, yes, I am. And he's just like, Mama, I don't want to. And then after she does this, she's like, this is what you do. This is how you do Marcy. And he goes, look, Mama, I love Marcy. She's like, what? He goes, I'm sorry, but I love Alex too. Well, the actor is cool, but that character. Okay, y'all. So then it's pretty much, she's like, you're not going over there. No. She is quiet now. He goes, Mama, I'm fine. And then it cuts off. It cuts off on him. Now, I do want to discuss a little bit of what they tease for next week. We're not going to go too much into it, but I want to just talk about it a little bit. Now, listen. And I don't even know if this is next week or was this the overall. No. I think Lucian is coming to the. I mean, not Lucian. Lucian works there. That's my brother. Fake ASS Julius is coming to the station next week, and I can't listen because here's the thing, and I don't want to call him fake because honestly, in all fairness, I really don't have no problems with Julius, except for the fact that sometimes he's just shady and you're doing too much. This is really my thing with Julius. What they teased on the preview, he gonna say, "Come on, I miss that sweet ASS." Talking to Esperanza, you should have punched him in his grill, just like she should have did to Eddie when he talking about, "I'm gonna bring you a lollipop later." I'm not gonna do it again, y'all. Where's my Valium and water? I need it now. So she goes, listen to me. She said, you will never touch this ASS again. So, okay, like, that's, I guess, fine, but you should have punched him in his grill. Because he really, like, you really must be thinking, like, who are you talking to? You feel me? It would have just been a blur from me. Like, I know he ain't just, you feel me? Oh, my gosh. Let me see, what else do they teach for next week? Okay, I believe next week we're gonna see Eddie, Lucian, Ben at the crime scene. You guys, I'm so praying that Pete is alive. We can't lose Pete. We can't lose Pete. We can't lose Pete. He may be our only way of getting Eddie out of the police force. And I say that probably because you guys are probably like, how do you technically want him and Esperanza back together? But he's, look, everybody, like, as I said, don't like the Eddie character. Can't stand him. But I'm almost like leaning on him just because he got PTSD. I'm over it. And he needs help for that because that's happening sometimes when you go to the war and you've seen so much, you create like a separate persona. Like, I'm not the same person I was when I went into the war. Like, you're trying to forget as much as possible. That's a symptom of PTSD. And how Esperanza speaks, that's what he did. Like, she has no idea who he is anymore. You feel me? So I'm waiting to see, come on, Tyler. You feel me? I don't know how much longer I could deal with this. And especially if Pete dies, that's just really going to top the cake. And Pete is just that comedic relief too. We can't lose Pete. But what I do want with Pete, I don't want him at that police station no more. He can't, like, Lucian, because he's going to be like one of the only good guys. Which Lucian can handle himself. Pete, I want Pete promoted. Or something, honorable courage. And he's, oh, wait a minute, you're promoted and you're switched to another department. Like, come on now, give us that, Tyler. Because he's going to be in critical condition, if anything. So, please, Tyler. I can't do, and then we see Eddie with a sucker in his mouth. I'm over it. I can't. Alright, y'all, so this is going to be a crazy season. We about to really see what's about to go down. I'm excited. I am excited. I'm not even gonna lie about it. But I'm already mad. Like, I'm pissed in advance. So I'm concerned. The haves and have-nots. Y'all, did y'all see that finale? And I had actually 3 shows in a row to watch tonight because I had Pretty Little Liars. Then I had the Haves. Then I had this. And I forgot. Like, I was like, oh snap, I'm reviewing the show tonight. So I had to go get my stuff. And I was like, I'm pausing it. I'm trying to catch stuff, Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I'm stalling because I want to see if I forgot anything. Because I hate that, and then I'm like, oh snap, I forgot. Okay, let me see. Oh, also, for next week, it's teasing that Claudia is going to be asking questions, and Esperanza is trying to shut her down. Like, look, you don't want to do that around here. You feel me? Because I think Claudia is going to be like, we seen... No, she goes, Pete saw Eddie talking to the captain, and he flipped out right there and was like, I have to go and everything. That, like, she was like, something is weird about this. And Esperanza's like, look, don't ask that many questions around here. You don't do it. And, oh, yeah. And I want to point out, I knew it. I was forgetting. I felt like I was forgetting something. When, I think it was right after Eddie left and Esperanza was still there after she threw the sucker, Claudia comes out and she's panicky. She's like, what's his, no, that wasn't after that. It was at some point they came back to the station. I think it was. And Esperanza, she's there. She's just looking over stuff like, this is the normal. We get calls like this all the time. And Claudia's panicking. She's like, girl, what they say? Is he okay? What's his condition? And Esperanza's just like, look, I need you to breathe. Calm down. We don't know anything. Okay? And Claudia is just like, oh, okay, like, what did they say? Come on, like, and so Claudia is pretty much hyperventilating. So Esperanza's like, I need you to calm down and remember that we still have a job to do. She's like, okay. And she goes, okay, yeah, take a break, please. Esperanza's taking a deep breath. All right, so I think that's pretty much it, everybody. But yeah, this episode brought the fire. I'll tell you that much. There was a lot of dialogue, especially with the Alex and Brad scenes. So I'm excited for this season. I'm already mad in advance, though, as I said before, but this should be a good season. And I will be going to check out the Jedi's Haves and Have Nots review right after this, or whenever he puts it up. I don't even know if it's up right now, but it is 12 o'clock a.m. in the morning, my time. So, all right, y'all. It's your girl, jadajay. Be breezy. Don't be easy.